Hi, and welcome to the Balancing Act Local Edition. I'm Monto Williams. We're bringing you community stories and introducing you to businesses and influencers who are making a difference. So let's see who's making news right here in your neighborhood.
On this episode of The Balancing Act, we'll take a tour of a Florida dairy farm and learn how our milk makes it from the farm to the fridge. Today on The Balancing Act.
Up first, a story not to be missed.
Do you ever think about where your milk comes from or how it ends up in your glass? Producing a fresh supply of wholesome, high-quality milk takes hard work and dedication, and the journey from farm to table is certainly a fascinating one. Each day on this Florida dairy farm starts early, and for these farm families, knowing they are producing what's often referred to as nature's most perfect food makes it all worth it.
I'm Greg Watts, a dairy farmer at Full Circle Dairy here in Lee, Florida. Depends on who's asking, also known as Greg, Dad, or Papa. I'm a fourth generation dairy farmer. My family originally started dairying in Switzerland. From the time I was 3 or 4 years old, I've been involved in dairying, whether it was helping out on my grandfather's farm, home from high school 10 minutes after the class was out to milk cows and feed calves. My son's been involved since he was 2 years old and could walk, and to be able to come each day at 5:30 in the morning and have a cup of coffee with Philip and the rest of the team and discuss what's going on and what we're going to try to accomplish that day is very satisfying.
I am Philip Watts, a fifth generation dairy farmer at Full Circle Dairy in Lee, Florida, where we currently are milking 3,600 head of Holstein dairy cows. We strive every day working hard as a family to produce a nutritious and delicious product for other families like mine to be able to enjoy. I hope to give my sons the opportunity, if they want it, that they can become the sixth generation dairy farmers, just like I was given the opportunity to become the fifth.
So, what is a day on the farm like? Let's follow along with the Watts family to find out.
We're at Full Circle Dairy in our baby calf barn. This part of our operation is very crucial to us because these calves are the future generation of our herd. We have auto feeders that are set up where the calves have the ability that they can compete and come up and get milk as they want throughout the day, no different than if they were nursing on a cow in the field. We have chosen this group housing operation for feeding our calves and raising our calves because we believe we can raise a healthier calf through this system and take better care of our animals. As soon as a cow has a calf on our farm, that calf then comes over to our calf barn, similar to be like elementary school. And then after they graduate from there, they will then go to our wean barn, which these calves are off milk at that point. They're starting on a grain diet. After they leave our wean barn, they'll move up to our older heifer barn, where they are then bred and then confirmed pregnant, to where they move over to our dry cow barn. Well, they will then have a calf, and that heifer will enter our herd, and their calf will start the cycle back over at our nursery in our calf barn.
Over the past few decades, America's dairy farmers have made significant strides in addressing their environmental footprint and establishing dairy's role as a solution. Farmers care deeply about preserving the environment so they can ensure the legacy of their farm for future generations.
As my role on the farm, I'm the operations manager. I oversee our feed department as well as our cow care and cow comfort department. In our cow comfort department, you can see behind me, all the cows have fresh feed put in front of them, and we have fans that are running continuously in the barn. As well as the fans, we put fresh bedding down, sand bedding for the cows to lay on. We do that at least once a day for the cows to have fresh bedding inside their stalls. One of the reasons we choose sand bedding is because we can recycle it. And that is our sustainability, is being able to capture that sand, wash it, clean it, and store it to where it is clean and ready to go back in the beds for the cows to lay on and bed down in. We work closely with a nutritionist to make sure we have a well-balanced diet for the cows to eat. In that diet, they're going to have different ingredients such as cornmeal, corn silage, soybean meal, the importance of their vitamins and minerals just like we need them ourselves. The forage that we grow makes up approximately 50% of the feed that the cows eat in their diets. Now there are 2,000 acres here at Full Circle Dairy, but that is not the limitation of our feed. We go far past that, up into a 12-mile radius around the dairy, where we work with other growers across the county to help us grow high-quality feed for our cows. This adds to our sustainability, making sure that we're keeping feed as close as we can to the farm. One of our most valuable resources we have is water, and we capture as much water as we can here at Full Circle Dairy, whether that is water that is used from our sprinklers for cooling cows, or where we have cleaned the barn floors by using that recycled water to flush and clean the barns. After the water has exited the barn, it is then going to go through our sand lane, where the sand is separated out. The water and organic solids will travel across the top and wash the sand. After the sand has been separated, the organic solids and organic water will then travel up to our separation center. Where we separate, we'll separate the organic solids from the organic water. Then we'll take that organic water and we'll either recycle it by washing the barn floors again, or we'll apply it to crops that are growing out into the field. The recycled water has a nutrients value to it, to where we're able to use it to grow crops and use less commercial fertilizer than what we initially would without having the organic water. On our farm, we also have several acres of solar panels that are set up that turn around and they power the lights and fans that are inside of our barns, as well as our milking center. Our sustainability goes much farther than that. We are working with Chesapeake and Florida Public Utilities on a methane digester project. The renewable natural gas that is produced here at Full Circle Dairy will then be distributed through a pipeline to consumers, where they are able to cook with it, heat with it, and burn it as fuel.
Dairy farming requires hard work, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to the well-being of the animals. Dairy farmers utilize state-of-the-art technology all across the farm, but especially to monitor the health of each individual cow.
This is our rotary milking parlor at Full Circle Dairy. As cows enter the rotary, they're sanitized by a robot. After they're sanitized by a robot, this next gentleman in line is checking each quarter and checking the color and the quality of the milk that the cows are producing. If there's anything that is off or seems suspicious about a cow's milk, that milk is then discarded on the farm and does not go into the food supply that leaves the farm. He will then put a mark on that cow, as well as pushing one of the buttons up here on the board, where that cow will be sorted out for a cow care team to do a health evaluation on that animal. The following gentleman is wiping each teat clean with a new rag, and we use one rag per cow that's then discarded and then washed and sanitized before they come back here to be used again. As the cows make their way around the rotary and the milking unit has been attached, they'll then be milked, and milk will be flowing as they come around the rotary. This is a very gentle suction. It's kind of like the massage that's on the teats and the udder of the cows to help them with stimulation and milk letdown. As machines pop off, that is from the meter that is down in the bottom that has sensed that this cow is almost close to being milked out. After the milk that you see is collected in the bowls, it falls through the tubes to where it is run through a meter down at the bottom. We then take that data and we utilize it and track it. That way we know the health of the cow and if she's having any health events that we might need to check her for. After the cows have exited the rotary and they have had their post-dip applied to them to prevent any bacteria coming up into the teats and getting in the udder, we'll then scan that bolus that the cows have for the cows to be sorted out from the rest of the herd of cows. Maybe if we need to perform a health evaluation on those cows. Then the milk flows through this pipeline and goes into this small holding tank. After this small holding tank, it goes to these 4 filters to make sure we have very filtered milk before we then start the cooling process of our milk. Our temperature that we typically shoot for is 35 degrees, and we take a sample of the milk the whole time that a tanker is being loaded. So this is going to be our sample bag that takes a little droplet of milk that represents the whole tanker. The test that we run on that milk is to see if there's any antibiotics that are in the milk. Although we know there are not any antibiotics in their milk, we still have to run that test as part of a USDA program that is set for all dairies across the United States. Within 96 hours of this tanker being washed at the plant, we have to make sure that we're loading this tanker. It is a good sanitized tanker that we're putting our clean, pure milk into and taking the extra steps to make sure a safe product is delivered to the consumer. After this tanker is completely full, we'll then seal it up here on the farm. We will put our own seal that is correlated directly to this farm on this tanker. If that seal is broken, this tank will be discarded whenever it gets to the plant.
Agriculture and the dairy industry plays a crucial role in the U.S. economy. The milk and dairy products produced by farm families like this one help to create a sustainable, equitable, and secure food supply for Americans nationwide.
I feel dairy farming is important because we can utilize forages, grasses, corn, and such to convert into a nutrient-dense product for consumers. I hope that the future of this dairy, the future of the industry, allows for my family to be sustainable and stay here for generations in the future.
Raising the kids on the farm was absolutely beneficial. I love the fact that they could come to the dairy with me. All three of them would come with me to work. It instilled work ethic in them, just the fact that they can be around the animals and learn to care for them the way that we did. We look forward to hopefully our grandkids coming back and working with us when they get to that age.
Now that all the milk has been collected, it's off to the processing plant.
Dairy farmers, as well as all farmers, are the backbone of the country. If we didn't have them, there wouldn't be food or milk on our tables. In May of 2020, the Dairy Farmers of America purchased TG Lee, as well as other facilities throughout the country. Our facilities guarantee that they have a place for their milk to be processed. Milk is nature's perfect food. It has 13 essential vitamins needed for your body, including vitamin D and calcium. It is available to you at a very affordable rate. You can get it at any retailer, you can get it at any food service establishment, you can get milk anywhere you go.
Each day we bring in raw milk, we process the milk, we bottle it, and then we bring it into our cooler, we load it, and then we have a distribution department that delivers it every morning. In addition to the white milk, we also do cream, half and half, buttermilk, and chocolate milk.
Once the milk arrives, there are several steps in place to ensure its quality and safety before it even enters the plant.
When milk arrives at the plant, we're pulling a sample from the milk tanker, and we're also checking the temperature of the milk to make sure that it meets our expectations, which is below 40 degrees. The sample is taken to the lab, and several tests are performed in the lab, which include flavor. We check the butter fat, the solids non-fat. We also check for antibiotics in the milk, and we will not unload that milk tanker until we have full approval from the milk lab.
Numerous steps are taken to ensure the freshness, quality, and safety of the milk. You might not know it, but milk and dairy processing involves highly advanced technology.
We'll pump off the milk tanker into a raw silo. We pump the milk from a raw silo into our pasteurization unit. At that point, the milk gets pasteurized, homogenized, and separated. The separator separates the skim from the cream, so those are now stored into different silos. And then later on, we use those two components to batch 1%, 2%, half and half, whole milk. The separation process is very, very important. The pasteurization process helps us ensure that the product is clean, makes the milk last longer, it keeps it fresher. It just improves the quality of the milk. If you have raw milk and you have it sitting on the counter, it will start to separate. The cream will rise to the top. So the homogenization process actually eliminates that. So it makes sure that you don't have separation the whole entire shelf life of your milk. It will not separate. So that's the beauty of homogenization. The quality process throughout the day, we pull milk samples from all silos before we pull milk from the silos. Also, when we start our fillers, all first off samples are taken to the lab to be tested. In addition to that, throughout the day, as we're doing product changeovers, all those samples are taken to the lab to be tested. So it ensures that throughout your whole day of production, you're continuously testing the milk to make sure you're meeting our expectations for quality. So our state inspector performs audits on the facility. Our state inspector also each week will gather samples of our finished product to make sure that they meet the quality standards for the state of Florida. We also perform training with all of our employees every month, safety training. Everybody follows the good manufacturing practices. After the milk is bottled, we have different conveyors that'll take it and put it into casers that will put it into a milk case. Then it goes automatically into the cooler. We have automatic palletizers in the cooler where forklift operators will grab the milk and they'll load it onto the trailers to maintain freshness at all times. So as we receive milk, we process milk, we bottle milk, we load milk, it's all within a 24-hour period. We don't hold any product here for more than 24 hours. Our operation ensures that our customers get the freshest milk at all times, which is very beneficial. With regards to the code on our bottles, our plant code is 12255, so the 12 represents Florida and 255 represents this facility. We also put the date code on all of our milk, and we also identify what filler the milk was bottled on. In addition, it also represents the filler operator that was operating that filler. So if there's any question, we can always look back on that information.
T.G. Lee has been providing families with fresh, nutritious dairy products since 1925, and they are proud to be a contributing member of the community.
In 1925, Thomas Gilbert Lee started T.G. Lee, which means that our 100th anniversary is coming up here in 2025. He started with a cow. As T.G. Lee grew in that downtown area, really downtown Orlando grew around it. T.G. Lee is the anchor of the Milk District in downtown Orlando. We engage in multiple outreach and community events throughout the state. Through the Milk District, we do community events as well. But overall, as T.G. Lee, we like to work with Feeding Tampa Bay to donate milk where 1 in 4 children goes hungry. We donate milk to Second Harvest. We've donated milk in downtown Orlando where the Salvation Army shelter had some recent events that caused them some hardship. Here recently we built Hope Kits for folks going through breast cancer. Here in the near future we're going to build kits for the homeless. It's really what it's all about, and the T.G. Lee family realizes that. We also locally in different local towns with our employees sponsor some football teams, some softball teams, and we also donate milk as a refuel for quite a few of those teams as well. And in partnership with the Florida dairy farmers, we have these murals on the side of both of our milk plants. They are famous in Central Florida. As you drive by our Orange City facility, people honk, people wave. It is a way for us to show that we are part of the farming community, and it's a way to focus on where the milk really comes from, is from the cow. T.G. Lee is very fortunate. We are a family. We're a family of employees who work hard but also know how to laugh together. It is one of the leading dairies in the country for Dairy Farmers of America in terms of people. We have a very strong work ethic, and I, as the general manager, am honored to lead these people.
From farm to fridge, Florida dairy farmers give you their best, from sunup to sundown, so you and your family can enjoy delicious, nutritious milk and other dairy products.
Producing milk for families, as a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 1, it is the most wholesome food that you can provide. The highest quality standards, the cleanest facilities, You know that what you're providing to the school children is a highly nutritious, safe food that is also really beneficial for them. And they take that to the rest of their life. And you take pride in being the manufacturer of that.
To learn more about Florida dairy farmers, visit their website at floridamilk.com or see the segment again on thebalancingact.com.
Thanks so much for joining us on this local edition of The Balancing Act. We'll see you next time.